It's Saturday, October 24th, 2020, just chilling out here in the desert. Beautiful, beautiful late afternoon here in Palm Desert, California, about 88 degrees. I was just watching some of the news earlier. I was just thinking to myself where we're at as a country, what's happening with this economy. I was reading some of the comments this morning, and somebody said that I just keep pushing doom and gloom to get views. And if I wanted views, I'd probably go out and buy a fancy sports car and make car videos. Maybe I'd do some kind of food videos. There's a lot of other things you could talk about that are much more popular than what is happening to this economy. There are many more things I could be doing that are much, much more fun than talking about the reality of this economy. There are way more many things I could be doing for fun other than buying silver and gold and putting assets away for what is coming. There's a lot of things we could do, but see, these are the people who live for today. They don't want to think about what's coming tomorrow. These people don't want to make any type of sacrifices for the economic pain that is coming. They don't even want to see it, think about it, talk about it. They just want to ignore it. And so they can call me doom and gloom. They can call me whatever they want. But I'm going to tell you, I don't look at it as doom and gloom. I look at it as reality, and I look at it as opportunity. There are going to be fire sales coming to America. We're going to see the worst housing crash, I believe, in U.S. history. We are beginning to see a very, very severe commercial real estate crash taking place right now. We're witnessing a retail apocalypse. I'm going to talk a little bit about what's happening with auto loans. We see a bond bubble, a stock market bubble. We are watching our currency be debased every day with more helicopter money, more stimulus coming, tons of money printing coming, and we're not the only ones doing it. The whole world's doing it, and that's what makes this even more dangerous. Is we're not the only ones doing it. The entire world is printing their currencies to death, and it is a race to the bottom. But these people who believe it's doom and gloom, look, there's going to be a lot of bad things happening, no doubt about it, but I am setting myself up, and I hope that you're all setting yourselves up too, to capitalize on what is about to happen in America. This is going to be the biggest, by far, wealth transfer the world has ever seen. And you have a choice right now to pick what side of this wealth transfer you want to be on. If you're one of these people out running up the credit cards, spending your stimulus checks, spending your benefit money on Nikes and big screen TVs and just living life like there's no tomorrow, you are going to be a victim of this collapse, no doubt about it. But there are people out there who are saving their money, they're buying assets, they're getting one of the biggest most important things I think you can do, and this is just me, I'm just a normal, humble guy here. One of the biggest things you could do in your life right now is pay down your debt. Get your debt paid off if possible, or at least get it manageable. You do not want to be going into this depression with a lot of debt, because debt is going to kill a lot of companies, corporations, businesses, households, and individuals. So get the debts paid off ASAP before you do anything else. But to the people out there, this individual who called this doom and gloom this morning, I said, well, tell us all the good news. And of course, it's nothing but crickets. But there is good news. The sun's out today. You're watching this video. It means you're alive. Means that you are a critical thinker. So we have a lot to be thankful for. More than likely, you were able to drink a beverage such as maybe a nice cold glass of water this morning. Maybe you had a nice lunch, you had a meal, you had a glass of water, you're breathing today. The sun is out, at least here in the desert. It's snowing in other parts of the country already, but we do have a lot to be thankful for. We're living in some of the most exciting times, if not the most exciting times in human history. We're alive, we're breathing, and we are retaining knowledge, because knowledge is power. And it costs you nothing to think for yourself and to acquire knowledge. Read, do your due diligence, do some homework, and wake up and use that mind, exercise that mind, because it's a very, very powerful weapon. And the more awake you are and the more knowledge that you're retaining right now, the more prepared you are going to be for this collapse. This collapse has already started, ladies and gentlemen. It's not when it is going to happen. It's already begun. But to the people out there, again, this individual who just calls this doom and gloom, I don't look at it that way. I see a lot of opportunity coming. I think a lot of wealth is going to be made during this time. And again, you've got to pick what side of this wealth transfer you want to be on. If you're just going to be living for today, running up the credit cards, buying things that you can't afford with money you don't have, you're going to lose. But if you're patient and you're saving and you're buying assets and you're getting the debts paid off, you are going to capitalize. And this is going to be your opportunity in life for success. The number of past due auto loans is creeping up. This is in caranddriver.com, you know, Car and Driver magazine. Number of accounts 30 days past due is 3.1%. 4.3% of auto loans are in forbearance. So we've got 3.1%, 30 days plus overdue, and we've got 4.3% in forbearance. So those don't even count. So we would be talking about a lot more accounts overdue or past due if they weren't in forbearance right now. So they're able to just cover everything up, manipulate everything in the housing sector, in the auto sector with forbearances. Same thing in credit cards. They're using forbearance to hide all these defaults and these past dues. $21.6 billion of subprime auto bonds were issued in 2020. People are missing and delaying payments. Forbearance is hiding the real numbers here, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, when we hear about the unemployment numbers, fake, when we're hearing about the past due number of accounts with auto loans, it's all fake. Everything that we're hearing is so fake. We're watching a fake stock market every day. Everything is manipulated until it no longer can be manipulated. More money is outstanding in motor vehicle loans now than ever before. $1.2 trillion. And think about the 30, 40 million people who no longer are working. Think about the people who got wage cuts. Think about the people who can't get a job. Yet they are letting people drive off with cars that cannot afford them. You know, I went over a couple articles probably close to a year ago, 8, 9, 10 months ago, where they weren't even verifying people's income. So I just wonder how many people out there right now are driving cars that have no way of paying for these. They are doing whatever they can to get these cars off the lot. They're doing whatever they can. Right here, another article, millions can't pay their car loans. So yet, this almost reminds me of the subprime era back in 2005, 6, and 7, when they knew that people weren't making their mortgage payments, yet they were still making loans. They were still lending people to buy homes when they knew people couldn't afford to pay them. And we're seeing that, I believe, now in the auto industry. So just think how many people out there, is it 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10 people that are late on a payment, who are never going to be able to make the payments on those cars, can't afford those payments, got a loan that should have never been allowed to even get a loan on that car. You know, you see people driving around in town with nice cars, but they may be in forbearance. They may be 90 days behind in a payment. Last year in 2019, over 7 million people were 90 days plus delinquent on their auto loans here in America. Just think about that, 7 million plus people, and now 4.3% of these auto loans are in forbearance. I don't even know how many millions of accounts that is. Article today on The Hedge. This is how a state goes bankrupt, the Illinois edition. Back in the 20th century, I'm going to paraphrase through this article. Back in the 20th century, one of the greatest financial scams was created by a bunch of governors, mayors, and union leaders. And guess what that scam was? It was pensions. They would offer teachers, cops, Firefighters, extremely generous pensions, but would avoid raising taxes to fund the resulting future obligations. The beauty of the scheme flowed from its demographics. Most of the original public sector workers were young and therefore decades away from retirement. So the crime wouldn't be discovered until long after these architects were retired and rich. So now the baby boomer workers are retiring, and we're now seeing the scam. The scam is being revealed for all of us to see. And all of this is mathematically impossible to sustain. 100% unsustainable, these pensions now that these criminals bamboozled everybody with. Now, massive defaults on state and city obligations are inevitable in the coming near future. We're already starting to see this. Illinois is a prime example. Illinois has $137 billion of unfunded liabilities, which it accumulated in just 2 decades. So ask yourself now, with the volatility of the stock market, all these baby boomers retiring, a limited amount of jobs now, how are they going to fix this problem? And I don't believe that they can, but what they're going to try to do is what they always try to do. They're going to raise your taxes. They're going to raise your property taxes. They're going to try to paper over the problem. In Illinois, they're going to try to paper over the problem with the sale of $850 million of bonds. And it's not just Illinois. Illinois is the poster child for all this, but right here in California, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and many more are all going to need a massive bailout. They all have unfunded pensions. And we're going to see massive layoffs, massive unemployment, like we're seeing the massive unemployment here in California, Illinois. It's coming to a state near you. And so many people tell me, that live in some of these states, tell me how good things are. Yet I look at the unemployment in their state. I look at the food stamp programs, how many people are on food stamps in these states. I look at the debt. Just look at the debt. You may be doing well in some town in New York or New Jersey or Connecticut, but look at your debt. Look at your unfunded liabilities. Look at how many people are on food stamps. It's shocking, but yet people believe because they're in some little town in some state and they're doing well, that everybody is doing well, that the country's booming. They don't understand that this is coming to a town near you. You are going to feel the pain. You can't live in a bankrupt state and not feel the pain at some point. The entire country is bankrupt. Everybody, every state, everyone is in massive debt now. We are obligated to this debt that our politicians have run up. And I hope at some point, I believe that at some point this comes to a head. And the only way I see it happening is through a massive crash. All this is unsustainable. And it's going to end bad because everything has to crash in order for things to start over. Some say a reset. I say reset, start over, whatever you want to call it. Everything in these markets is literally overvalued at this point. We don't know what the value is of any of this. We have so many zombie companies running around. We don't know the real price of real estate. We've got these low interest rates. We're lending money to anybody. And it's very, very confusing when you look at all this, how it's even functioning at this point. It really is. When you look at how bankrupt the states, the government, you look at the massive unemployment, you look at what's happening to business, you look at what's happening to manufacturing, everything is absolutely gone bananas. And we need things to reset. We need to start over. And there's going to be some very, very big losers here because somebody's not going to get paid back. And when we look at what's happening with these negotiations for stimulus, as I said months ago, I didn't believe that there would be any stimulus. I didn't believe there would be a second stimulus in 2020, and the odds of it happening now are slim to none. And even if we got an agreement before the election, nobody's getting a check in 2020. It will be 2021. We are not going to see help. And look, the fact of the matter is millions of people need help. Tens of millions of people need help. And we've got another really, really big problem here too. And you can call it doom and gloom. You can call it whatever. I'm going to call it a big problem. I'm going to call it reality. December 31st, eviction protection for 11 million renters expires. So if you're one of these 11 million renters, and this is just the renters, this doesn't include family members, your world right now has serious doom and gloom because shortly you don't know where you're going to be living. You don't know what's going to happen. Eviction filings are exploding right now. Landlords are filing evictions right now, even though they won't be able to do anything until January. Without stimulus, we're going to have a lot of people in a very, very bad situation. And many of these people could land up homeless. Remember, if you don't have a cash reserve, if you don't have a family to fall back on, where do you go? What do you do? And I know a lot of people out there can't imagine that happening, but there's millions of people right now thinking about that. The end of December, right after Christmas, these filings go into effect. We could see 10 to 15 million evictions. This could be up to 40 plus million people. The New York Times believes that conservatively, we will see 4 million households evicted. Where are these people going to go? If the housing bubble bursts after the rental bubble bursts, what in the world are we going to see here in America? No stimulus, no jobs equals very, very dangerous times in America. Very, very big trouble in America. So I'm going to leave you with this. When these people get evicted, when these renters get evicted, what's going to happen to all the condos? What's going to happen to the apartments? What's going to happen to all the rental homes? What's going to happen to all this real estate? We're going to see a lot of real estate flooding the market here in the US. And remember, 7% of mortgages are in forbearance. And we have 30, 40 plus million people without a job in America now. So, to the person out there that said, I'm just speaking doom and gloom, I totally disagree. Again, as I said earlier, we're very blessed. If you're watching this video on your $1,200 iPhone or your $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000 Mac, you've had a meal today, you're breathing, you're blessed. You're blessed. And more importantly, you are knowledgeable. You are self-thinking. You're a critical thinker. And that means that you're picking the right side of this wealth transfer. Now, the people that want to call this doom and gloom, these are the people that are on social media showing us what they had for dinner at the steakhouse that they put on a credit card. They're showing us their new Nikes. They're showing us their weekend trip in Vegas, everything on a credit card. Everything they do is with money that they don't have. But we're at a time here in America where people just want to be something that they're not. We used to call them wannabes. They want to be something that they're not. They want to take that picture in front of the private jet so that we all believe that they're flying private. They're taking that picture in front of the Bentley or the Ferrari or the Rolls Royce or the Lambo. That's not theirs, of course. And they're posting it on social media to be a wannabe, to be something that they're not. And these are the people that call this doom and gloom. The people that are watching this video who are putting the cash reserve away, they're buying assets, they're retaining knowledge, they're opening their minds, and they see exactly what's coming. They're aware and awake of this economic collapse. They know it's begun. These people who've been preparing for it for a couple years now, these are the people that'll be on social media posting pictures in front of Ferraris and Lamborghinis and private jets because they're going to be the people that really own them. They're not going to be the wannabes. They're going to be the people who really own them, because they've picked the right side of the wealth transfer. And I truly, truly believe that a lot of people are going to capitalize on these sales that are coming. They're going to be coming from the people that lived off a credit card, the people that call this doom and gloom. The people watching this video, you will be buying that person's car. You'll be buying their rental property. You'll be their landlord. these people are going to be in very, very big trouble. These are the people who went broke trying to look rich. They didn't want to make a sacrifice last year, the year before, the year before. They wanted to take the weekend trips. They wanted to go to the steakhouses and post on Facebook what they're eating, show us their cocktail, their $20 cocktails at Mastro's, posted on social media, all bought with a credit card to impress you and I. We don't even know these people and they're trying to impress us. I mean, this is the loser mentality, and these are the people that will get crushed. You have made sacrifices. You didn't take the Hawaii trip last year. You didn't take the trip to Aspen. You're not going to Vegas and gambling your kids' college tuition money or your cash reserves. You have been hunkering down. You've been putting money away, gold away, silver away. You've been paying your debts down. You're going to pick the right side of this wealth transfer and you're going to prosper. I truly believe that. I think more wealth will be created in the worst of times. I think more millionaires are going to be made during this wealth transfer, during this collapse than any other time in human history. But the people out there that call this doom and gloom, the people out there who live their life off of credit cards, who live for social media to impress all of us with things that they don't have, to show us their $300 Nikes that they put on a credit card, those people are broke. They're going broker and broker trying to look rich to impress you and I. And again, we don't even know who these people are. But how sorry is that there are people out there going broke, trying to look rich to impress people they don't even know. And even worse, they're trying to impress people they don't even like. So sad. Look, if you're a married couple, do you really need a 4 or 5 bedroom house? Who are you impressing? So you have 4 extra bedrooms or 3 extra bedrooms going to waste just so you can tell people you live in a 4 or 5 bedroom house. You got to have a special zip code, right, to impress people with that zip code. I'm going to tell you, the way I think right now is I don't care what people think about what I drive. I don't care what people think about how I live. All I know is I have very minimal debt. I can sleep at night, and I plan on capitalizing on the worst economic crash in world history. I've had to make sacrifices. I had to cut out the vacations, the fancy dinners, the socialiting, the fancy cars. I had to really make some sacrifices. And if you're not able to do that, you're not going to succeed during this collapse. Get the debts paid off. Get humble, get small, get some money saved up, get those assets put away, and most of all, be patient. This may not happen tomorrow or next week, but it's going to happen. Take every day as an opportunity to put the odds in your favor to capitalize in this depression. God bless every one of you. Walk close to God. That is the main thing. Talk to all of you very soon. Have a phenomenal weekend.